A lot of landowners are very concerned about their tax appraisals and how they maybe can convert to wildlife from their timber and their ag appraisals. And I'm Charlie Muller with Texas Parks and Wildlife Department, and our video that we're putting together is hopefully going to help you to be able to understand how that works and how to understand what you can do on your property to satisfy the appraisal district for conversion. So today we're lucky to have a local landowner, Sonny Guess, who's here. He's going to tell you a little bit about his property.
Well, we have 40 acres south of town, and when I first got it, we have about 3 acres on the front that's cleared, and the rest of it is brush, trees, and right-of-ways, and a beautiful place for a lake. And so what we started doing is we wanted it as a recreational piece, and so we started we dug a lake, we planted food plots, we put out corn feeders, and we put protein blocks out, and we did several things on the place in order to improve the habitat of coming to our place. And that has been a great help for us.
Sonny, you'd like to talk a little bit about food plots and what you do out on your property?
Sure. Last year we planted alpha rack from Whitetail Institution, and it didn't do exactly what we wanted it to, as far as come all the way through the spring. And so we got some green, but not enough. As soon as it dries out, then we'll plant something else for the spring, and then again for the fall. What do you recommend?
Well, in spring, I would recommend some iron and clay cowpeas. It's a good legume. It grows well in East Texas. The deer eat it, and it's good for them. Of course, as long as you fertilize it.
Right.
And put a fertilizer, maybe do a soil test, and see what kind of fertilizer that the soil test would recommend.
Okay.
Then in the fall, I'd recommend planting some oats, wheat, elba, rye, and those are cereal grains, and then putting some Austrian winter pea with that to about 110 pounds to the acre. And once again, fertilizing, so it's more nutritious than the native vegetation.
Is there a particular fertilizer you recommend?
Not necessarily. Anything that just has the ratio that your soil test would show.
Triple 13 or something? If
you don't do a soil test, then generally in East Texas we say triple 13 will do pretty good for it, more than likely. Right. Usually when we recommend food plots, we also talk to the landowner about where to put those food plots, and generally we look for natural openings that are already there on the property, and some are unnatural, of course, like pipeline rights-of-ways, power line rights-of-ways, and things such as that. And I know that you use a power line right-of-way to plant a lot of your food plots in.
Yeah, that's the natural place for us because the rest of it is in trees and other cover. But we also plant on top of the dams, because when they dug the dam, they took the topsoil and put it on top of the dam and behind the dam. So it's got good soil, and it probably grows as good as any of it because it gets more sunlight. Good.
And also, when you put vegetation as a food plot on a dam or on a right-of-way with any kind of slope to it, that will also provide some stability for the soil. So you kind of two birds with one stone there.
Right, and they really like it, especially on the dam. They're there all the time.
Yeah, I noticed you have a deer stand there, so evidently they really do like it.
The food plots, of course, when we take the pictures this time, took the pictures, they didn't show much growth, and it's because of the time of the year it is, for one thing. And the second thing is we've had a lot of rain, we've had no sunshine, and they need some sunshine. And so that's why they're real slow growth right now.
Right, and also the deer have been feeding on them all winter.
Oh, they have.
And so they've got them eaten down a little bit. So a lot of times it looks like a food plot's not doing well, but actually the deer are doing what you want them to do, and that's eat it. So you know they're getting something out of it too. Also, you know, you have a tractor, so you could go in and open up some areas, some new areas, and create your own openings. That if you can get sunlight to the ground and you know, and get bare ground, you can come in and till it up and plant you know, food plots in other areas, so you can spread them around a little bit.
Okay.
So that would be a good thing to do.
Actually, the way the land is cut up with the right-of-ways, we have 4 sections in it, and we could go in each section and cut out some places with that shredder.
And food plots don't have to be real big.
Yeah.
A quarter acre is plenty,
Yeah.
as long as you've got several scattered around.
Yeah.
So that's
Okay.
that's what I'd recommend you doing on that.
Good, that's great. I'll do that.
I noticed you have several feeding stations out there on your property.
We've got some mineral blocks in which we put into their half barrels.
Okay.
And then we have some automatic feeders. We have 5 of them that feed corn
Okay.
twice a day. And
You do that 12 months out of the year? Okay.
yes, we
Good.
do.
Good. You know, those feeders, you know, a lot of people call them deer feeders, but they're really, you know, can be called wildlife feeders because a lot of different animals eat there. Raccoons, a lot of different birds, of course your deer, and then of course you have the hogs.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
The hogs.
they eat the feed and of course create a lot of other problems.
Yes, they do.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we have tons of hogs out there.
Yep. Saw a lot of signs.